Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice Radio. So today, we need to look at a bunch of Sword and Shield TCG news. We're going to have a quick recap of some stuff we've already seen at the end for those of you that may have missed it. But we're going to start off with a bunch of products. Now, the first product I want to look at here is the Premium Trainer Box Sword and Shield. Now, we knew that the Premium Trainer Box Sword and Shield was coming. I've covered that in a previous video. And we knew basically what we were going to be getting. You get 10 packs of Sword and 10 packs of Shield. Remember, they are different expansions in Japan. You don't buy Sword and Shield like you will over here when it's released in February. You buy a packet of Pokemon Sword or a packet of Pokemon Shield, not Sword and Shield. As well as that, you get 158 cards that you know what they are. And they are specifically designed to be good, powerful cards that help particular kinds of Pokemon. We'll talk about which ones have been confirmed in a moment. There are 48 trainers, 23 different ones, 2 of the same special energy, and 108 basic energy. That is 12 each of all 9 types. You also get a box, you get a coin, and you get some damage counters and condition markers, status markers, in a little metal tin. And what is kind of cool now, we can see the design of the tin, the coin, and the markers. The markers are the kind like they've had in Japan for a while now. They're not particularly new. These have been available in Japan for some time, at least the damage counters have. But they come in a cool little metal slidey tin with V Pokemon card game written on. Remember, Pokemon V are the new types of Pokemon we have at the moment. They are the Sword and Shield Pokemon. And then we see the coin has a V on as well. But what is really interesting here, what is completely new, is the energy cards. Now, I don't know how many of you noticed when I first flashed a picture up on the screen, but those energy cards look unlike any other energy cards we've ever had. This is, in fact, the new style of Pokemon energy, at least basic energy, that we're getting in the card game. Now, for comparison purposes, this is generally what energy looks like in the Sun and Moon era, so you can see it's a little bit different. You've got the kind of waves coming off the top right-hand side like it is energy flowing off from the symbol. I'd be lying if I didn't say the fire looked like the coolest one, because it almost kind of looks like it is on fire. Now, couple of very important points about this. First of all, there are new Sword and Shield cards in the set. Each of the 5 decks has 3 Professor Magnolia and 2 copies of Marnie. Now, Professor Magnolia is just a straight reprint of Sycamore or Juniper. You discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Weirdly, Professor Kukui in Sun and Moon was very different, but other than that, this is what we see from the professor that gives you your Pokemon at the beginning of the game. This is a standard one. Now, Marnie's a little bit different. Marnie's kind of like a weird judge, whereby each player shuffles a hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. You draw 5 cards from the top. Your opponent draws 4 cards from the top. So you get a new hand, your opponent gets a new hand, you get 1 more card than them, but you guarantee that you're not redrawing the cards you previously had in your hand. It's alright, it's kind of cool, it's kind of interesting. Should see a little bit of play here and there. And all of the V decks have this in them. But you can see that these cards are also coming in the Premium Trainer Box, along with Quick Ball that we did talk about in a video yesterday or earlier today, depends on my upload schedule. But Quick Ball is a phenomenal new card that lets you discard a card from your hand and then search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it into your hand. It is a really, really good card that we desperately needed, so it's really cool. You can see here as well that there are a bunch of other cards. We've got Welder, which is phenomenal for fire decks. We've got Electro Power, which is great for lightning decks. We've got Netball, which is really good for grass decks. Martial Arts Dojo, which is really good for fighting decks, though really it's any deck that plays fighting energy. We have seen a bunch of non-fighting decks actually play this, along with a little bit of basic fighting energy. Means you do an extra 10 damage if you got a basic fighting attached, or 40 if you're behind on prizes. We've then got Metal Frying Pan, which is good for metal decks, and then we've got Cynthia and Erica, which are really good draw cards. I expect Professor Magnolia to be an absolute staple after this comes out, as will Quick Ball be. Marnie, not quite so much, but two of these three new cards are absolute staples. The third one's good. You get a bunch of other staples, and a bunch of packs and some accessories as well. It's a really cool thing. And we've finally seen what the new type of energy is. Now, this is coming out on the 6th of December over in Japan, and it is costing 5,500 yen, plus tax, which sounds like a lot, but obviously we do need to do just a little bit of currency conversion here. And as I record this on the evening of the 10th of November, 5,500 yen equates to $50 or £40, which for 10 packs plus everything else and all the cards doesn't sound like a terrible deal. Now, Toys R Us is getting a Triple Starter Set V, released on Friday the 29th of November. This is going to be coming in at 4,980 yen, which, again, at today's current exchange rate, is about $45 and about £35. I am rounding a little bit to make things a little bit easier. And you get a set of 3 Starter Set V, 1 grass, 1 fire, 1 water, obviously so that they can show off Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. Now, in terms of the Starter Set V, we know that the grass one with Grookey is going to be Celebi V, the fire one with Scorbunny is going to be Victini V, and the water one with Sobble is going to be Keldeo V. Kind of annoying that the best one is Tapu Koko and isn't in the set. They've gone for the 2 worst and a good tech. So, a little bit upset about that. But what can you do? It is a cool little box that gets you 3 of the Starter Tech Vs. And that's basically it. You also get an original deck case. But that's literally it, right? You get the 3 V decks in a box. But it looks really cool and I kind of want one. Maybe that's just me. Now, over on the official Japanese site, they have also revealed a new deck box with the 3 first partner Pokemon on, and some parallel sleeves with the same art with the first partner Pokemon on. They've also got a case featuring Zacian and Zamazenta, which is going to be pretty nice for holding all of your coins and all of that. I believe you can fit some decks in there as well. And then another case featuring the Scorbunny, Sobble, and Grookey. Cool. And I've had one of those in Japan before. They keep about 3 decks in by the looks of it. And they're kind of cool. We like those. So we've got some nice products there just for the Sword and Shield stuff. Now, there is also a promo card that came out in Japan. It's coming out in Japan on Friday. It is the game promo. For anyone that's wondering, the promo when you bought Sun and Moon was actually Snorlax GX. So this is not quite as good, honestly. It's just, it's a fun little card with Pikachu and the 3 others on. It's not gonna set the world on fire, if I'm honest with you. It's not a particularly great card, but the artwork is flat out phenomenal, and it showcases the first partner Pokemon. Should we have had a Pokemon V? Probably. That would fit nice with what they did for Sun and Moon, but you can't win them all, ladies and gentlemen. You can't win them all. Now, we have actually had some Sword and Shield cards revealed. We've already mentioned Magnolia and Marnie, but in the past couple of days, we've actually seen Quick Ball that we mentioned. Evolution Incense, which just lets you search for an evolution Pokemon. It is literally a reprint of Professor Elm's training method. Just, as an item card, which is a bit nuts. And we've also seen Meowth V. Now, Meowth V is kind of interesting, because the card itself sucks, right? It's not a good card. I'll link a video in the description. It's not particularly good. But there is a promotion going on in Japan at the moment where you get this, and it's clearly telling us that we are getting a second part of the promotion, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a V Max Meowth, well, Gigantamax Meowth. That seems pretty good. That seems like a good prediction. The real question, and I don't have an answer to this one, are all of our Pokemon V going to be basics? Now, up till now, we've seen legendaries and Meowth. But the reason, as far as I'm concerned, the reason that Meowth is a basic is so that we can have Gigantamax Meowth as a V Max. And that essentially gives us two potential options here. Option number one, all Pokemon Vs are basic, which means, as far as I'm concerned, they are all going to be legendaries or basics that have a V Max Gigantamax version, or they can be evolutions. But then you realise we've got stuff like Gigantamax Charizard, which is a stage 2 that then Gigantamax is. Well, does that mean there's going to be a Charizard V that is a basic that then Gigantamax is into V Max? Or is it going to be get up to stage 2 and then V Max? And honestly, I think it has to be a basic, because we saw with stage 2 Pokemon breaks, with the exception of like Greninja break, they just weren't good because they were too awkward. So I think all Pokemon V are going to be basic, but I also think they're going to be limited to legendary Pokemon and Pokemon that have a Gigantamax version. That's my prediction. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the news we've got from the Sword and Shield trading card game. Of course, as soon as we know more, I'll let you know. I'm nice like that. For now, I'd like to know what you think about all of this news, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.